Hey, what's up, guys? We're reviewing for our check-in, and we're practicing some stuff we did back in the day. Constant and proportionality, same thing as finding like unit rates and doing rise over run and all that good stuff. So I gave you an assignment online, a homework assignment that's due in a few days. I'm going to take you through the assignment and do some examples for you, okay? So please pay attention, and as I do, you can start the video while you do your homework, kind of do it with me, okay? First things first, I want to give you some examples to put in right here. These are all the things it's saying you should be able to do when you're done talking about constant of proportionality. I can, like you're saying this, I can determine the constant rate of proportionality from a table. And we're going to go over this in more detail later, but I'm just going to tell you some really quick things. What this means is you're going to take the y value and divide it by the x value to do this one, okay? So you can write that down maybe a little smaller than I did. I can determine the constant of proportionality from a graph. When you do that, that's talking about rise over run. I can determine the constant of proportionality from an equation. Well, that's talking about this stuff, y equals kx. And whatever k is the constant. So if it said y equals 3x, the constant is 3. Alright? Let's look at this one. I can write an equation using the constant of proportionality. Well, that's just, let's say the constant, let's say k is the constant. Let's say k equals 8. Well, the equation would simply be y equals 8x. That's what you do for these problems. Rewind this a lot and re-listen to it if you're not sure. I can explain the meaning of a point on the graph of a proportional relationship. Well, that means, let's say we have a little graph, and let's say this is the cost, this is money. Let's say that's money, and let's say that this is shoes. And let's say right here we got a 2, and up here we have $100, and let's say it stops right here. This is saying that it's $100 for 2 shoes. Okay? That's basically the gist of it. We've done this before. This is a review, but we did it a long time ago. So let's get into more detail on the homework. Okay, let's go right here. Determine the constant of proportionality. Now this is a table, right? These are tables. It's called a table. If we go up here to what we wrote down earlier, to find it from a table, you just take the y and divide it by the x. So we're going to do y divided by x. Skip the zeros, go straight to this one. What's the y? The y is 3. What's the x that goes with it? 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3, and you're finished. What if you did this one? 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the answer is 3. Look, you all get the same answer every time. So the constant is 3. Now, why did we do 3 over 1 here, but over here the 1's on top? Well, how do we find the constant rate in a table? We take the y's, the bottom ones actually, and divide them by the x's. That's what we did in each one of these. So you just, when you see one like this, I want you just to train your brain to almost think backwards. To go 3 divided by 1, 6 divided by 2, and 9 divided by 3. They all equal 3. You always put the y value on top, all right? So let's do this one, because this one is going to trick a lot of people. Most of you probably, if you look at this right away, you go, okay, 9 divided by 1 is 9, 18 divided by 2 is 9, 27 over 3 is 9, 36 over 4 is 9, so the answer must be 9, right? Wrong. It's not 9. It's not 9. Because how do we find the constant rate on a chart? It's y divided by x. 1 divided by 9. And most of the time when it's like this, you see how it all, you just finish. So the answer is 1/9. You could do 2 over 18. That's 1/9, right? What about 3 over 27? That's 1/9. Simplified, right? And 4 over 36 is also equal to 1 over 9. So just remember, take this one, divide it by this one. If it made you do a decimal number, let's do 1 divided by 9. 1 divided by 9. 0.1111. So it's either 1/9 or 0.1 repeated. Okay? All right, you can do these two the same way we do these two. Write an equation in the written form y equals k times x. You'll never see it written like y equals k times x. You'll always see it written like this. Y equals kx with them smushed right next to each other. It means the same thing. When they're smushed together like that, it means you're multiplying them. Okay? The constant of proportionality is k. There's k. Whatever that number ends up being, that's our answer. Use an equation to complete the table. All right, this is kind of cool. So let's use this y equals kx. But instead of a y, we're going to use 5. Because isn't the first y you see 5? 5 equals k. We don't know k yet. But what's the x that goes with it? With the 5? It's a 1, right? So we're going to put 5k1. Looks weird, right? Always divide by the number in front of the variable. 5 equals k. Now that's how you do it. It can look really confusing. Just remember, guys, it's a table, right? Like we did these. You take the y value and divide it by the x. What's 5 divided by 1? 5, right? This should be 15, right? What's 15 divided by 3? 5. What should go right here? 4, right? What's 20 divided by 4? 5. Should be 6. This would be 40 if you want to fill it out, okay? Every time you divide these from bottom to top, y over x, you get 5. All right, let's go to this page, okay? List three different terms that mean the constant rate. Well, away in 8th grade, you call it. Sometimes you call it the slope. You can just call it the constant rate. Constant rate, or maybe, sometimes you can call it the unit rate. That's what I would go with. Okay. All right. Now, these are graphs. Let's go back to that first page and look what we wrote down for the graphs. Graph. Rise over run. So we're going to do rise over run. Easy. Okay? So, when you see a graph and it wants you to find the slope, see, look even right here. The slope is rise over run. In 7th grade, they don't call it slope. They just call it the constant rate of proportionality, right? I'll just call it the constant rate for now, okay? The constant rate and slope are the same things, okay? So we're going to do rise over run. Ready? So you go down here, you slide up this line until you see where the line crosses these lines just right. Look right here. You see how it's like perfectly in the middle there? So we're going to put a line dot there. You can stop there if you want, but where's the next one? Right there. Both of these dots are going to give you the same answer. And look, you know it's a proportional because it's a straight line that goes through the origin, okay? So let's do this. Let's start here and do the rise over run. We rise 4, we run 1. Let's do this one. We rise 8, we run 2. If we don't get the same answer, we know we did it wrong. But we know that 4 over 1 is 4, and 8 over 2 is also 4, so we know we did it right. Okay? I want you to do this one on your own. It's going to be a fraction answer, okay? Let's do this negative one. Okay? Rise over run. Okay? Start here. Where's a good perfect dot? There's a good one right there. And here's a, let's see, we got that one. We got right here. Pick out either one of those, you'll get the same answer, okay? Let's do this one first. How much are we rising? Look at this, though. This is interesting. It looks like 1, 2, 3, but look, it's 20. This is a 20, so it's really 5, 10, 15, 20. So we're rising 5, 10, 15. But look, we're running this time. We're not running this way, we're running this way. So this is negative. When you go to the left, it's negative. So these are by ones. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1 backwards. 1, negative 1. Let's do this rise or run. We're not rising, we're actually dropping. So we're going to do negative 15 over positive 1. Right? And both of these answers, if you do 15 divided by negative 1, you get negative 15. If you do negative 15 divided by positive 1, you get negative 15. So the answer is negative 15. Okay? Let's see what else we got. Okay? Last one before I let you do on your own. These are the equations, okay? Super easy. When you do these equations, it's got to look like this. Y equals kx. And this k is the constant rate. It's the answer. So instead, you got y equals 7x. So what is k in this problem? Well, instead of a k, it's got a 7. So the answer is 7. It's that easy. 7. This is a word problem. It might be $7 per hamburger. Right? You never know. But it's 7. Look at this one. What's the answer? Y equals kx. The k is a 5/8. That's the answer. All right. Now let's do this one. Now this one's a little weird because we want it to look like this, where k is the answer, right? But look, there's a 2 in front of that y. We got to get rid of it. How do we get rid of that 2 in front of the y? Remember, we always divide by the number in front of the variable. So we're going to say 2 divided by 2 is just 1y. And 3 divided by 2, we're going to keep it a fraction, is 3/2. So the answer is 3/2. Okay? Try your best. We're going to go over it some more. But this should help you a little bit on your homework. Okay? Bye.